Das, Ian Curtis, Benjamin Franklin. We got William Dafoe carried the weight. The rest of the characters from Savannah's past, as you heard so eclectically off in the distance through the phone. I want to wish a happy birthday to Francesca Simonelli, one of the most beautiful humans I have ever met. And today we'll be talking early departures and adventures for the natives, early business, weaving the worms of silk, the start of the library, early stages of the revolution, and we will be talking baseball as well. As right now we have a Savannah icon calling in and joining us. We have Nathan Bobo Smalls joining us via calling in. Are you up in Indianapolis? Is that where you are?
Hello?
How are you?
Oh, I'm okay. I was cut off.
Yeah, that's okay. We got you back. It all kind of worked out, though, so I appreciate your patience. That's for darn sure.
Mr. Small.
Yeah, everything going well?
Yeah, everything's doing okay.
Super. Good. We got ourselves a nice start, and we're very excited to have you on the air. And so one of Savannah's icons, growing up here in Yamacraw Village and eventually finding the love of baseball, which helped guide him into the Negro Leagues. And with that, ended up playing with the Clowns for lots of years, and an absolute honor and pleasure to have you with us today, as we'll be talking some baseball, and our friend Benjamin's gonna kind of guide you through.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Hey there, Bobo. It's
how you doing?
Hey, it's Ben Botham. I spoke to you on the phone the other couple days. So I have the couple questions here for you.
Okay.
What drove you to begin your career in baseball? What made you want to play baseball?
Well, living in Savannah in the 60s, and it wasn't a whole lot to do, really. I played with a semi-pro team called Savannah Bears, and we played out at Sportsman Park. And, I always wanted to be a baseball player. I wanted to go further than what I did. It wasn't nothing to do in Savannah at that time. Mm-hmm. But I knew I had a talent.
Yes, sir.
And but I didn't know, how good I was until I left Savannah. Mm-hmm. And I had a real good. His name was Raymond Goodine. He's like a brother to me right now today. And he told me that he would get me out of Savannah. And he asked me did I want him to write a letter for me. I said, yeah, man. So he wrote a letter for me to the Indianapolis Clowns. I didn't know who the Indianapolis Clowns were. And about 2 weeks later, they wrote me back and told me, yeah, they'll give me a tryout. So I went to, they sent me the letter and everything that I needed, all the information. So I ended up in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I had never left Savannah before. And leaving Savannah, going to another state, it was a big surprise to me, And but I caught on.
Mm-hmm. And not only did you catch on and get to leave Savannah, but you got to take quite a journey across the country, huh?
Oh, man. I couldn't tell you all the towns I've been in.
I would imagine you don't even remember the names, right?
Yeah, and all the states and Canada and Mexico and Puerto Rico and every city, every small town in the United States. So I've been a lot of places.
Talk about coming from Yamacraw Village and getting a chance to see the world. Absolutely phenomenal. And I'm sure that the Clowns were quite pleased with sending you that letter, as in time, of course, you went on to be voted the MVP, 9 times voted MVP. And I love the fact that you played and pitched more games than anyone in Clowns history. My guess is that you probably played more games than most people in their history and careers.
That's true.
Yeah, and that's quite a capture, too. I mean, winning 30 games, 3 consecutive years in a row, that's quite exceptional.
I appreciate it.
Also, I heard a story that you once sent all your fielders into the dugout and then proceeded to strike out the side.
Oh. Yeah, Satchel Paige. Mm-hmm. And I know you know who Satchel Paige is.
Oh, yes, sir.
Satch was my mentor. And he was traveling with the Clowns at the time. And I didn't know really how hard I could throw a baseball until the Kansas City Royals gave me a tryout. And I was throwing about 97.
Oh, wow.
And this one team we was playing out at Davenport, Iowa. Mm-hmm. And they was heckling us and saying a lot of different words and things like that. So Satch told me, he said, come here, young blood. He said, go. He said, kick everybody off the field, nobody but you and the catcher, and strike out the side and shut them out. I said, come on, Satch, man, I don't know how to do no stuff like that. And he said, no, you can do it. He said, these guys can't hit you. And I proceeded on to doing what Satch told me. Took all the players off the field. There wasn't nobody left but me and the catcher. His name was Birmingham Sam. And we proceeded to strike out the whole side.
Fantastic.
And people was coming out on the field and grabbing my arm, and I guess they thought I had a bionic arm.
And that was it. After that, nobody had any more slurs to throw your way.
No, that was it.
I love how you kind of handle those situations. One of my favorite stories is when the truck showed up with a whole bunch of the Ku Klux Klansmen, and you went and found somebody's yard close by that they were hanging their laundry, and went and got a sheet and cut out eye holes, and then went into the stands and was kind of yelling at the team with everybody else until they realized, and then you took your mask off and they were like, oh my gosh, this is hilarious. That was fantastic.
Oh, yeah, they like to hear that one.
I love how, to me, that's a really phenomenal way to remedy such a serious situation.
Oh, yeah, you run into situations sometimes that you really don't know how you're going to handle it. And a lot of times things just jump up in your mind and say, try it. You know, what can you lose?
Yeah, exactly. And you definitely had an amazingly creative way of accomplishing that as well, which, here's to you. Again, another thing to commend you for. I mean, that was a very powerful time in the country's history, and, you making way around the country and then becoming an advocate for helping to improve relations along the way. Exceptional.
Yeah. And so I was also wondering, what was it like having such a remarkable mentor like Satchel Paige to show you the ropes of baseball?
Well, the first time I met Satchel Paige, the very first time, was in Savannah. Mm-hmm. And they had a article in the paper that Satchel Paige would be at the DeSoto Hilton. And I said, Dog, I want to meet Satchel Paige. I was a high school kid, didn't know. Yeah. But I read about him, in the books and stuff, because I did a lot of reading, and I read about him, and I said, I got to meet him. And I was on Broughton Street, and I was walking down Broughton Street to go to the hotel where Satch was staying, and I saw this real tall man coming toward me. I didn't know who he was, and he was real tall. And I said, you know what? That got to be Satchel Paige. And I went up to him, and I said, Mr. Paige. He said, how you doing, son? I said, I just wanted to meet you. And I told him I was a baseball pitcher. And I told him, I asked him a question. I said, Satch, what's the first thing that a scout looks for when they see a pitcher? And he came right out and told me. He said, speed. He said, how hard you can throw the ball. So I know I was ready then because he told me how hard I could throw that. And I could throw pretty good.
Oh, yeah. I could imagine. That still holds true today where speed is definitely a factor.
Yeah, that's how I got to meet Satch the first time. Mm-hmm. And then the next year, when I wrote the Clowns, I didn't know Satch was going to be a part of the Clowns. Mm-hmm. And, being in the motel, and then I saw Satch coming down the stairs. I said, that's Mr. Paige again. And he told me he remembered me. And he told me what he was doing, that he was touring with the Clowns. He wasn't playing. Mm-hmm. He was just touring, writing autographs and stuff like that. doing certain things, but he was part of the entertainment for the Clowns, and they had on the radio and stuff, Satchel Paige, greatest Negro League pitcher ever lived, traveling with the Indianapolis Clowns. If you want to come and get an autograph or anything, you can. So that's what he was doing.
I read once that Satchel Paige with the Indianapolis Clowns came down here to Savannah and played the Savannah Bears, beating them 5-1.
Satch came to Savannah. I don't think I got a chance to see him at this time. But anyway, played out at Sportsman Park.
Yes, sir.
And the Savannah Bears, we had two teams in Savannah at the time. Savannah Bears, Savannah Kilowatts. Savannah Kilowatts was owned by a guy named Ben Logan. He's a big-time baseball player in Savannah. So we had two teams. So I guess the Clowns ended up playing the Savannah Bears.
And for those of you who don't know, that was at that Sportsman Park, right? And that was just off Tremont Road on Savannah's west side.
That's right.
Yeah, opened up in 1945, and the Bears and the Kilowatts, I guess those were the two teams that played there.
That's right.
Fantastic. And, of course, we'd like to fill that in, knowing that there are many people that do not know these little bits of information. It's one of the elements that we love sharing on the show. So definitely wanted to make a note of that.
Mm-hmm.
I also heard that you had quite a talent at throwing baseballs. You had 4 baseballs in one hand and were able to throw it to 4 separate people.
Yeah, that was one of those tricks that I learned down through the years. If you do something enough, you get kind of good at it. So I remember we had a guy from Philadelphia. His name was Bobo. He was the white guy, and he used to always do tricks. He'd do tricks with the baseball bat and do tricks with the baseball, and throw him between his legs and catch him behind his back. And Birmingham Sam, who was from Birmingham, Alabama, he was the best baseball entertainer I've ever been around in my whole life. And Sam used to throw balls behind his back. He used to catch him coming out of the mid-air behind his. He used to do things that I used to say, I bet I could do stuff like that. And I kept monkeying around with it and practicing with it. And before I knew it, I was doing the same thing Sam was doing. And he told me Sam was up in age at the time. I was a rookie. And he told me, he said, you got a lot of talent. And I said, yeah, coming from Savannah, where I came from, guys know how to dance and guys know how to play baseball. And we just, guys that came from Savannah was unique ball players, because we did things that other ball players didn't dream about doing. Raymond Goodine was one of the best ball players I've ever seen in my whole life, and he still stays in Savannah, and he was one of the best ball players I've ever seen, and Raymond used to do things like that. And so when I started with the Clowns, it wasn't hard for me to do. I just had to catch on. I used to see Bobo throw 2 balls at one time. I said, God, look at that what that guy doing. And I said, look at that. And day by day, I would watch him do this. And I said to myself, I bet I could do that. And every day, I would try to do that. I would try to throw balls. And after a while, I started throwing 2. And I said, okay. And then I started throwing 3 and 4. Got the hang of throwing 4. People had never seen that before.
Oh, yeah. I've still never seen a feat like that.
They had never seen that. And I was, we played in Chicago. We played in Chicago White Sox Stadium in 1966. And we had about 35,000 people.
Fantastic.
Wow.
And they wanted to see, they'd never seen nobody throw 4 balls before. And I started throwing the 4 balls, and people were coming out on the field and looking at my hand to see how big it was. Oh man, it was a time. So it became my trademark down through the years. For the 22 years I played with the Clowns, that was something that I was really known for. throwing 4 balls at the same time.
Fantastic. And, of course, this is towards the decline of the Negro League. And the Clowns became somewhat of an entertainment team, and not to diminish away from the talent and the skill, because apparently there was plenty and quite an abundance, to say the least. I know that some people that had played in that league definitely would have outshined those that were in the majors along the way, and it was somewhat a very humbling sort of thing to have to endure. But yet you still got to reach so many people along the way, and with that, the Clowns were somewhat of like the Harlem Globetrotters
they were.
of baseball. Just to give people a general sense as to what we're talking about here.
Okay, see, the Clowns was the last black baseball team to play in the Negro League. All other teams had folded. In 1955, they started dropping off because the major leagues started getting picking up all the black ball players. And the Clowns was the last team that was left. And the thing that the Clowns did was exactly what the Globetrotter did. Same exact thing. And so Ed Hammond, who was the owner of Indianapolis Clowns at the time, he was from St. Petersburg, Florida. Oh. And so he saw the talent that the Clowns had as far as having the black ball players, dancing and, doing all kind of things that normal ball players wouldn't do. So they kept the team going. And we played against competition. We played against anybody who wanted to play. That was the thing to it. Now the Globetrotters played against the Washington Generals. That was they beat up team. So we had a team called New York Stars. And New York Stars was like the Washington Generals. We used to whoop up on them. But down through the years, Ed told us that the money situation wasn't what it was. So we started playing with 13 ball players. And we would play any team that would come along. Any team. And so the Clowns, for the 22 years that I played, nobody in black baseball history has ever played for one team that long. Yeah. And this is something that I wanted Savannah to know, because I'm getting up in age now, and it's a lot of our history that Savannah don't know a whole lot about.
Yeah, that's for darn sure.
And I wanted them to know. Being from Savannah, Yamakra Village, and being over there on Hall Street, that they had a Negro League ball player that played for 22 years. That's something that had never happened before. And all the games I won and teams I played against, it was a great honor for me. One of the greatest, could I tell you this?
Of course, yeah.
This is one of the greatest honor I ever had in my whole life, being from Savannah. James Holmes, who's the commissioner now of Savannah, Chatham County, he gave me a proclamation to have my own day in Savannah.
Fantastic.
I got my own day in Savannah, and that was one of the greatest things that I think ever could happen to me. And I got it on the wall. And I forgot the date. I got it on the wall. But James Holmes, he used to coach the Girls and Boys Club for many, many, many years. And he taught a lot of basketball players and baseball players how to play baseball. So James Holmes was one of my greatest people that I knew coming down from Savannah, because when I came home a few years ago, he told me, he said, Cantaloupe, he said, I got something for you. So I said, okay. He said, when I get off work. No, he told me to meet him at the City Hall the next morning. So I said, okay, me and my uncle Johnny Brown. We went down to City Hall, and they had a plaque for me, and they had a medal for me, and they had me on TV. And that's one of the greatest honors, I think, that a man could get from his hometown to have his own day.
That was definitely very well deserved.
To have his own day, and James Holmes done that for me, and I want people to know how great a man he was, because I always wanted to be like, you never know how things will happen in life. Mm-hmm. When I was growing up in Savannah, I always wanted to be like James Holmes. I always, because he always was teaching kids how to play baseball, how to play basketball. And I used to always, kind of want to be like him. It ended up, this how it ended up for me when I left Savannah. I'm another James Holmes in Illinois.
Yes, you are. You do teach youth baseball, and I know that you're involved with youth basketball as well, and so you definitely have carried on that legacy. Was he at the West Broad Street YMCA when it was on West Broad Street?
No, James was at the Girls and Boys Club.
Oh, the Girls and Boys Club, okay.
Yeah, that was on the east side.
Okay.
Uh-huh. And, last year here in Illinois, I don't know if a lot of people in Savannah know. Maybe they might know now since you got it on radio. They named a park after me. Oh. Two basketball racks. They modernized this basketball court, and I used to teach the kids and stuff, and down through the years, and they gave me the park. So last year, they named the park after me. Oh, and I think that's, I don't know, that might put the icing on the cake.
Yeah, that's definitely leaving a
beautiful legacy. They have a park named after you. Mm. Two brand new basketball courts. Brand new, modernized. And they got my name on it. And everything, I got the keys to it and whatever. So that was another big honor for me, another big one. And then I had heard, I know you know Larry Rivers. Gator Rivers?
Gator Rivers.
I don't know, you might know it.
Gator! I've heard the name before, but...
Yeah, and he's another good friend of mine. Him and Edward Daniels, they call him Clausi.
Clausi. Okay.
Mm-hmm. See, I went to Beach High School.
Uh-huh.
That's where I went to school at.
I did substitute teaching there. It was it was one of my favorite places, Beach High School.
Yeah, Russell Ellington was my football coach and basketball coach at the time. So that's why I went to school at Beach High School. And I guess everywhere I go, I carry that Beach High. I carry that bulldog on my shoulder.
Bravo. Hey, you have to let us know what the date of your day is, because we're all going to have to start practicing how to throw 4 balls.
Oh.
And there's only one of us in the studio that could juggle at least 4, so I know that he might get the hang of it real quickly, but the rest of us are going to have to work on it, so we want to be prepared.
Well, when I get to Savannah whenever about another month or two, I don't know if I can still throw them. I'm up in age now, so but I'll hold them for you, that you take a picture of them and have whatever you want to do.
Fantastic. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, when you come into town, if you have the time, we would love to have you live with us here in the studio as well, and be able to just share you up close and personally. This is really an honor on our end, that's for sure.
Okay, and I sure appreciate you guys calling.
Yeah, no, you don't have to go yet. Can we ask you a few more questions?
Yeah. Okay,
I want to ask you a few more questions, if that's all right.
Okay, no problem.
We have a bunch of us that want to ask you questions, so I'll get mine out of the way, if that's okay. I have 2 of them. So I know Savannah has a long legacy of baseball, and, the game being played here and noted in the newspapers as early as the 1870s. And I know a lot of it was somewhat disorganized. There was somewhat of a Southern League. I was just curious, were there any notable players that inspired you from your early days here in town, from any of the Savannah teams? Someone that might have become your role model or gave you the drive to pursue a career in baseball?
Well, coming out of Yamacraw, and I always talk about Yamacraw because that's where I learned all my skills: baseball, basketball, football. I learned everything out of Yamacraw. It was a friend of my brothers and my uncle. His name was Gerald Crawford. And Gerald Crawford was like, coming out of Yamacraw, being a little boy as I was, Gerald Crawford was like Babe Ruth. Man, he could hit a baseball as far as you can see it. And in Savannah, Savannah had a social club called the Raw Hornets. And they was a social club, and they played baseball, basketball, football. They did everything. And as a little boy, my Uncle Johnny Brown, he was my mentor. You know, I learned everything from my Uncle Johnny. And because he had always had athletes around him. And so that's how I became to be an athlete. The things that I knew, watching, you know, guys like my Uncle Johnny Brown, watching guys like James Holmes, guys on the east side. Had a guy on the east side, he's passed away now. His name was Bully Woolley. His name was Herman Lee. One of the greatest. Yeah, Bully Woolley. See, in Savannah, people don't know. Everybody in Savannah got a nickname. And a lot of times,
I'm
you really wouldn't know a guy's real name until he died.
Oh, that was his name all these years.
Yeah, you know, because see now, like me, when I left Savannah, playing with the Indianapolis Clowns, I was a good entertainer. They used to call me the second coming of Metal Lock Lemon. And that's how I was with the baseball. All that stuff Gator Rivers could do, you were telling me if you're listening to it on radio, I could do it too. But anyway, you know, coming out of Savannah, you know, learning all the things that I learned, how to be an entertainer. I didn't even know I was going to be an entertainer. I just wanted to be a regular baseball player. And then I found some more skills about myself. It's an old saying, if you left Savannah and went any other way in the United States and couldn't make it, you wasn't from Savannah. Savannah had guys that do magnificent things. Mm-hmm. And I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
Every time I hear that name Savannah, I just light up.
Yeah, we do as well.
When I left Savannah, getting back to what I was telling you, everybody used to call me Cantaloupe. Cantaloupe, that was my nickname. So whoever listening to it on radio was getting a chance to listen. This is Cantaloupe. But when I left Savannah to go play professional ball, they started calling me Bobo. So if I should come to Savannah right now, nobody in Savannah will call me Bobo.
They'll call you Cantaloupe.
They call me Cantaloupe.
So when you come and join us on the show, we're going to call you Cantaloupe then.
Yeah, y'all call me Cantaloupe.
We want to keep up the tradition. Now, I think it's phenomenal that you got to explore both aspects of baseball, like the really technical side, and of course, you know, cultivating the skill of the game. But yet, you were able to explore the more creative side.
Oh, yeah, you know, in that aspect, watching Birmingham Sam, I had a coach name was Butch Herndon. We had a one-arm first baseman, best one-arm first baseman in the world.
Did he wear one of those big gloves?
Oh, yeah,
he
gloves? Did. Yep, he did. His name was Steve Anderson, and he stayed in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. He's still living. He work in the banking business now. And then we had a little dwarf, you know, like Snow White and the dwarves. We had a little dwarf.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we had a little dwarf. And then we had a guy from Washington, D.C. His name was Nature Boy Williams. This guy was about 6'3", and he could play first base with no shoes on. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, he was good, man. He was real good. He was real good.
So did you consider yourself more, and of course not to take away from your skill, because your skills and what you accomplished in the game is phenomenal, but did you consider yourself more of an entertainer or a player, or did you find a really good balance with that along the way?
You know, that's a good question, because I had a lot of news reporters and a lot of people asked me that down through the years. You know, we had our owner, Ed Hammond, who owned the Clowns at the time. He used to always get on me. He said, now Ed used to call me Lefty. He said, Lefty, why you don't let everything loose? He said, don't be scared to be an entertainer. I didn't want to be an entertainer. I wanted to be a baseball player. But I got so good at being an entertainer It was almost like they was brothers. Because I got to be so good at it. I got to be better. I guess I got to be, in a lot of ways, I guess I got to be a better entertainer than I was as a ball player. And I was a good ball player. The scouts used to come to the Clowns every year. And every year that they would come, Ed could have sold me. I don't know how many times, but he couldn't sell me because I was a meal ticket. And, I did all the stuff that you saw Metal Lock did for the Globetrotters.
Yep.
All the things you saw Goose Tatum did. I did all that for the Clowns. Everything you saw those guys did, I did it. And that's a part of my history right now. It's kind of sad for me. I sit back and I think a lot of my homeboys, in Savannah, Westbury and Lousie and Gator Rivers and all those boys, one of my best friends, David Brown, they didn't see me do these things. And I think that was one part of my history that it really kind of hurt me now because those guys didn't get to see me do all those things, to throw the four balls, or to throw balls between my legs, or to throw a baseball out of White Sox Park from home plate. A lot of those guys didn't get me because, Savannah's a bragging town. Yeah. If a guy can do something, boy, you can talk about it.
Oh, yeah. We know a few of those. We definitely know a few of them.
Yeah, if a guy can do those things, he's going to talk about it. So, and then this one lady, I think she's still living. Her name is Miss Richardine Reed Smalls. She was a professor at Savannah State. And she used to bring me to Savannah every year to talk to the schools. Beach High and Johnson and Tompkins. And I talked to all those schools when she used to bring me. And in Savannah State College, they got a big picture of mine hanging on the wall. And that's another thing that really makes me feel good, that they thought about me to put my picture on their wall.
Hey, Bobo, this is Ian Concevitch. I'm currently a pitcher at Savannah State for their baseball team right now, and I just want to ask you a few questions. Just a personal question from a teammate. His grandpa played in the Negro Leagues, and his name was Cowboy Atterbury. He played for the Philadelphia Stars in '60. Do you know him?
Cowboy Atterbury.
You know him?
No, I don't know him.
Okay, all right. I just want to know, what was the best ballpark or your favorite ballpark you played at?
My favorite ballpark I played at, Soldiers Home, on the east side.
Where exactly?
Soldier Park on the east side. And I'll tell you another one of my favorite ballparks with the pair was at Canton Park. That's right around the corner from Beach High School. Yep. And we had ballparks that Flamingo Field. We had ballparks. Everywhere in Savannah, we had so many. Well, all the ballparks we had to play at, we really had to walk from the east side to the west side. So we had Forsyth Park. So it was a lot of different ballparks. I fell in love with. Forsyth Park was like, must be 2 miles around. And I used to run around that park at least 5 times a day.
Wow. What was the biggest crowd you think you played in front of?
Oh, that's easy. 45,000 people in Chicago.
Yep. What ballpark in Chicago was that?
White Sox Park.
Oh, okay, yes. All right. What pitches did you throw, if you could list them?
Fastball. Nothing but speed, partner.
No. Oh, wow.
No, I threw a fastball. My grandfather, his name was Frank Rowe. He's called him Sam Beatty. And he said, boy, you got to get you another pitch besides throwing that fastball. So I learned how to throw a screwball. And then down through the years, I learned how to throw a curve. And after I learned how to throw that curveball, I was unhittable.
All right, when was the last time you played in a game? Do you remember?
Oh, 1988.
Okay.
Yeah, 1988.
How old were you then?
I ain't telling.
Oh, okay. All right. I just, as a fellow pitcher, I just want to know: were you a good hitter?
I was average.
Okay.
I was average. Once in a while, I would get in a good situation and get a good piece of the bat on the ball. Yeah, I wasn't too bad. I played good first base too. I was a good first baseman.
All right. Well, that's all I got for you. It's just been a great pleasure talking to you all. I'll put you back on with our other guys.
Okay, appreciate it.
Speaking of your nicknames, how did you come to earn the nickname Cantaloupe and Bobo?
Well, living in Savannah, you never know how you got a nickname, but getting the nickname Cantaloupe, Edward Daniels' father, like I said, they call him Clausi. His daddy gave me the name Cantaloupe, and that's all I know. And it's been with me ever since.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Now getting the nickname Bobo, I never liked that name. I never did like that name.
Really?
But down through the years, it's a part of my history now.
Wow. That's. I also heard that you wrote a book. Is that for sale, or what's the title of the book?
Well, the book that came out in 1973. The guy that wrote the book name was Bill Hewitt. Okay. He's from Michigan State. But I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm gonna get y'all the address and stuff, and I got baseball cards. I'm gonna send y'all a stack of baseball cards.
Oh my gosh, that is absolutely phenomenal. That is.
Yeah, I'll do that.
That's quite it. Oh my! Wow, that's really an honor. I'm really honored.
Yeah, I'll take an autograph from and I'll put them in the mail for you one day this week.
Oh, that's superb and so incredibly appreciated. I'm going to have Ben contact you after the show so that you guys can we could exchange that information. We'll all write down our address this way. He can.
Okay, that'll be one. I can just send them to the station.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We'll work that out when we're done. Definitely.
Oh, okay. I can do that.
And of course, with honoring pitchers or from the Negro Leagues, there was Don Newcomb.
Yeah, Newcomb. Yeah, I know he died the other day.
He just recently died. 92 years old. The first pitcher to win the Rookie of the Year, Most Valuable Player, and the Cy Young Award during his career with the Brooklyn Dodgers. And that feat wasn't accomplished by another player until maybe 2 years ago or so. So that's quite an accomplishment to hold. And another one coming from the Negro Leagues and making way into the majors. Very big factor for sure. All right, Ben has one more question for you.
Okay.
Thank you for taking the time. We greatly appreciate it.
No problem.
And
no problem.
Being that you were there in the last chapter of the Negro Leagues, do you feel like your contributions and the contributions of the Negro League have been recognized by the game and by professional baseball and people alike?
Well, a lot of times, I've been on radio, I've been on TV shows, and I did interviews all over the world, and sometimes it kind of saddens me because I want you to listen at this real good. Being from Savannah, and if James Holmes listening, he know what I'm talking about. Being from Savannah and accomplishing certain things in your life that'll last for a lifetime, it's something that don't happen all the time. And me coming from Savannah, playing with the Indianapolis Clowns, who was the last Negro League baseball team in history, and being from Savannah, playing 22 years, something that nobody has ever done. I get real proud of doing that because nobody else has ever done it. And it's something I want Savannah to know that everywhere I've been since I left Savannah, I've always carried Savannah name. They asked me where I'm from. I'm from Savannah, Georgia. What high school did I go to? I went to Beach High School. I'm a Bulldog. You know, and I just want people in Savannah to know that the last black baseball player that played in the Negro Leagues came from Savannah, Georgia.
And you remind us, and when you remember, you let us know when the Nathan Smalls Day is, so that we can help to perpetuate the legacy as well. We have Cordisphere Adas with us as well, and he has a question for you, and then we're going to let you go.
Okay.
Hello, yes, I'm Cordisphere Adas, but I'm also Dr. Matthew Adams. I'm a professor at Savannah State. And a history professor. So I have one question. I'm also someone who was born here in Savannah, and Savannah is where my family's from, and is also very close to my heart as well. What is your favorite thing about Savannah?
My favorite what?
Your favorite thing about Savannah.
Wait a minute. Hold on 1 second. Hold on.
We got some updates on the news for you.
Okay, I can hear you. I'm sorry.
What is your favorite thing about Savannah?
Oh, about Savannah. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, man. Well, I love the food. Oh, man. Can't get enough of food from Savannah. And,
what's your favorite food?
My favorite food?
In Savannah, yeah.
We want to know where to take you when you come to town.
Hey, we're all guys here. You know, that's where our love is, too. Food is always...
Man, my mama was one of the greatest cooks to ever come from Savannah. And we had a restaurant down through the years. And my favorite food, I'm an old country boy. I love me some rice, some neck bone, and some butter beans. And with some cornbread.
We're going to find somebody who can make that really, really well, so that when you come, we're going to all sit down and have.
Okay, hold on there. I got something for you. Let me see.
Okay, super.
April 27th. Okay, here it is. I had it on the wall. My day in Savannah is. Let me see. Ooh, I can't see no more.
I'd pass you my glasses, but we're way over here.
I can't see no more. Oh, man, this is a shame.
There's somebody there. It's like, wait a minute, hold on. We get somebody to read that for you.
Okay, let me see what I got here.
Okay.
Oh, okay. April 2007. I think it's the 27th. Let me get. Hold on, don't you hang up, man.
All right, I'm not going anywhere.
Hurry up. Tell me what day. Hurry up, you're on the radio. Tell me what day is my day on.
Everybody on the radio, we're waiting.
I gotta give it to the guy.
I know the anticipation. Hold on.
Cantaloupe Smalls. He's trying to find his glasses. Are they there? Are they here? Where are Cantaloupe's glasses? Cantaloupe.
Hold on. I want to mark this on my calendar immediately as well, because we're going to perpetuate this when it comes close to Nathan Smalls Day. We're going to make a real big deal about it here in town. Go around and start advocating other people to get involved. We need to go find all the baseball teams. You guys got the baseball teams. And we'll make sure about that.
Friday, April the 27th, 2009.
Okay.
Nathan Bobo Smalls Day.
Hold on. Here she goes.
All right.
Hold on. Tell her.
So that's April 27th, huh?
Pete Lackey, Chairman, on behalf of the Chatham County Board of Commission, do hereby proclaim Friday, April the 27th, 2009, as Nathaniel Bobo Smalls Day.
So we're going to mark that. I've just marked it on my calendar. We'll have April 27th, and we're gonna make a big to-do about it this year. We're going to make sure, and hopefully you'll be in town. That'll be really superb, because
Well, you know, man, I think I might have to try to get there for that.
I think that would be really good, and we're going to go out and we're going to start spreading that word, and we're going to make sure that this is a day that gets some recognition. That's for darn certain.
You almost got me crying now.
Uh-huh.
And I'm gonna get there for that.
All right, super.
I'm gonna try to get there for that because that'll be something that oh man, some of my old friends that are left, they could be, they can enjoy it with me.
I think that would be superb, and we could do a whole bunch of recording and interviews and stuff that we can archive and give to the Georgia Historical Society. So that's
that'd be real nice.
Yeah, something that becomes a part of the city's legacy forever. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, and so that's in April. So whatever I got to do, I'm going to be there for that.
All right, we're going to keep calling you and make sure and checking in on you. And
so you guys got everything you need, I think, as far as my phone number and stuff.
Yes.
I'll give you my address so you can have all of that.
Fantastic.
But I sure appreciate what y'all doing.
Thank you very much.
What y'all doing, and there's so much of history that we have. There are a lot of people coming from Savannah that people really don't know nothing about.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always, this guy, I guess I'll mention him until the day I die because he's been so good to me, man. And I already mentioned him earlier. His name is James Holmes.
James Holmes.
And if you can contact him, he's a commissioner.
I'm going to look him up. And you know what's really funny? We have a friend, James Holmes, also. And he's not the commissioner, but his name is James Holmes. And I happened to see him today. I ran into him earlier today. So the fact that this little synchronicity is happening as well, I'm very enamored and interested.
So if you can contact, he's with the commissioner, Chatham County.
Okay.
And he's the one that, all these things that happening to me now, he's the one that really made people realize what I did.
Well, I'm going to
because a month ago, last June, I'm going to give you this, and I know you guys got to go. Last June in Indianapolis,